Type 2 diabetes is a system failure. So if we look at all the factors that are involved in our body system, broadly speaking, we have nutrition, and that means different things to different people. We'll go into this at a later stage. Avoiding injurious foods or substances. This is important to receive the nutrient. Exercise, water, rest, including pancreas and stomach rest. Well, in diabetes, this is very important, but not considered. Oxygen, sunshine, mental health. In any one of these, we will find a contributing factor in the research articles to type 2 diabetes. In fact, using these lifestyle keys right is a foundation to improve the fight against not only diabetes, but every other disease out there. It's a foundation upon which we can build because it's about blood flow and blood quality and our self-healing. However, to pick out the two most important factors from cause to effect would be 1. Free fats and oils. 2. Refined carbohydrates, which also contribute to weight gain and take our immune system down. Free fats and oils are easily prone to oxidation, which damages the body, and can be animal fats in all forms, milk fats, note milk fats, and plant oils, whether butter substitutes or whatever else you choose to pick, down to fish oil supplements, which help dehydrated joints, but that's not good on blood vessels. Cholesterol readings do not give us the full story. It's only a half story telling us what's happening with the animal fats in the body, but not what's happening with plant oils. People tend to get a false sense of security from the figures, and it's not a full count, though it's important, but just remember, not a full description of fats and oils in the body. Obesity and over-availability of food rather than stress are the contributing factors to type 2 diabetes. When permanent change is seen in dietary habits and is established, some people should be allowed to escape the lifelong diagnosis of type 2 diabetes. So I'm quoting there. The body, of course, craves energy to function, and insulin is the key from the pancreas beta cells, which unlocks the door to allow the insulin into the body cells. Intrikins are hormones found in the gastrointestinal tract which signal the islets or Langerhans in the pancreas to produce the insulin from the beta cells and inhibit alpha cells glycagon. These hormones are released by the K cells in the duodenum and the L cells in the ileum and colon. So here it is again. Intrikins stimulate the cells of the pancreas, the islets of Langerhans, to release insulin from the beta cells and inhibit glycagon release from the alpha cells. The key to the cell door, which needs the energy, is blocked through these free oils and animal fats. Not, however, oils that are found naturally in plants as they are digested. These are not free oils and they are not subject to oxidization. They go straight down into the system, they're encased, they're not oxidized. To have olives with every meal is a good idea for receiving the natural healthy oils we need for the body. Now, diabetes is a two-pronged problem because it comes together with refined carbohydrates, which can be easily understood when we consider the effect on blood glucose and insulin in an apple that we eat, found in its natural state, compared to applesauce or apple juice. We can see the comparisons, the difference. The body has to work harder in a more refined substance. Fiber in the plant gives a steady flow of energy. Something which is naturally more fibrous, and a plant is going to be that way, is a complex carb, has a better result in energy delivery to the body. A lot of people have this wrong impression, have been taught by health workers, and I've heard it said that they need to cut fruit out of their diet but this is wrong according to the research literature. Fruit helps control blood sugars, which is grown naturally from the ground. It has no problem because it's got the fiber content, as we just mentioned, and there be an exception of those melons, such as watermelon and rock melon, which would tend to give us higher readings. Peroxide testing determines if the oil is oxidized enough to cause damage to the body. This we are going to rely on from the integrity of health regulators and manufacturers. So in a report, a study done by the Rural Research and Development Corporation from the Australian government, we have some interesting facts. They were looking at keeping cold-pressed virgin olive oil, how well it was kept using different containers. In this study, after 8 weeks, 8 of the 12 containers had exceeded the maximum peroxide value allowed for extra virgin olive oil. It can be seen from the chart they're given that 4 metallic bags had the least change in peroxide value. Low density polystyrene was the least resistant to oxidization, whereas the 4 metallic bags showed best resistance. After 4 months, even the best metallic liners had reached their limit and failed. It is clear from the table that the bags with the greatest oxygen transfer rates performed the worst. Based on these findings, olive oil should be stored only in recommended flexible metallic containers and only for the absolute minimum time necessary to transport the oil between suppliers and the consumer. Use of the clear, porous polystyrene containers is not recommended under any circumstances, and not even for short periods of time. That is because elsewhere it says that under these conditions it failed within days. This will ensure that the quality of the oil does not deteriorate to unacceptable levels. So, despite all of this, even if we had a well-kept container, kept in the right conditions, what are we doing with the cold-pressed virgin olive oil? 99% of the time it's being heated, so the chemical structure is changing. And that's if we're thinking about using the very best oil. Cold-pressed virgin olive oil is not the oil that the food manufacturers use. It's rare to see it. People have experimented with people's health with all sorts of dietary restrictions, including carb restrictions, but carbs are not the problem. It is the animal fats and free fats and refined sugars together with poor meal timing. Notice what I just said, poor meal timing. So we'll talk about this also elsewhere in greater detail with the accelerated problem with no pancreas and stomach rest. Everything in nature requires rest. It's a natural law. What tends to happen is we accelerate the problem. And so the person goes from one level down a step after a certain time and down another step after a certain time until they're in real trouble. Do we really need to know this? Blood vessel disease is the highest killer, and the second highest killer is cancer, to which we have just spoken of, is also a high contributing factor. The end result of diabetes is through these very same factors, destroying our self-healing ability and the ability of arteries to self-repair. Blood vessel disease. Such straightforward facts, by the way, are not given in diabetic education.